the spring market is basically here, and my favorite analogy is it's going to be quite competitive. Picture a little kid's birthday party, and everyone's swinging a piñata, and there's 4 pieces of candy that fall on the ground, and 30 kids run after those 4 pieces of candy. That's what the spring market's like. So what can we do to help buyers get them in the best possible position to get their offer accepted? And I'm going to speak more on the mortgage side of what we can do to help you have that competitive edge. So the first thing I always tell people is, it doesn't matter if you're going to look for a house next week or 2 weeks, get prepared ahead of time. Get pre-approved, sit down with your mortgage loan officer, get educated, provide all of your documentation, have it fully reviewed ahead of time by an underwriter, because that will allow us to call the listing agent when you're putting in an offer and say, hey guys, I'm 99% done with this buyer. She has everything in. It's going to be a nice, easy transaction. And so that really does mean a lot. On the other side, they don't want anxiety. They don't want to know that a buyer may be flaky or maybe, there are some prizes in their documents. We try to iron that out ahead of time.
So it's really a seller's market right now.
Yeah, it's a lack of inventory too. So you know what happens when that's the case.
What about finding the right loan program for the buyer?
I think that's also important. I think that agents do a great job educating their sellers when reviewing offers with them. And if you can choose a loan program that may have a loan type, meaning conventional versus government. Conventional is typically looked as a stronger borrower. If someone's putting down, let's say 5% versus no money down, well, what's going to look stronger? If someone's putting a deposit, which is like putting your house on layaway, of $5,000 versus $500, well, what's going to look stronger? So we have these conversations ahead of time so that they can be fully prepared.
What about something called an escalation clause?
Yeah, so here's something that comes into play a lot. So oftentimes the people that are getting accepted offers are those that having to go over asking price, and that's become normal. And so, there's some buyers that have anxiety about that for a few reasons. Number one, they don't want to overpay. Number two, maybe they don't realize that an extra $5,000 over asking might change the payment only $25 a month. Escalation clauses is essentially a way that if someone is in a competitive situation where there's multiple bids on a property, they're able to make an offer, put a cap on what they're willing to offer over the asking price. Let's say that a house is listed for $200,000, they might offer, up to $210,000. And nothing more. And if there's other offers and their 210's the highest, well then, you know what? Maybe they'll get the bid. If you have the luxury to accommodate the seller's needs, that might make you more competitive as well. So kind of go with the flow.
Be assertive.
Correct.
Right?
But always go with your gut. Never, go on emotion. Have a plan in place. Know what your budget is. Be responsible. Think big picture. Is this house going to meet your needs long term opposed to the next few years in case you do have to hold on to it? Will it accommodate a growing family or maybe downsizing? So you have to just be educated.
Yeah.